Welcome to LFC Transfer HQ, your ultimate source for all things Liverpool FC transfers. Like and subscribe for more football updates. Our first news is Fabrizio Romano shares exciting transfer update on Carlos Baleba to Man United. Won't be a problem. Manchester United finished their pre-season with a 1-1 draw against Fiorentina, 5-4 win on penalties, but it was a game that reaffirmed the club's biggest need. Casemiro strengthened Ruben Amorim's case of wanting a new athletic midfield, a demand that has reached Ineos, as seen with the chase for Carlos Baleba. Baleba is United's top midfield target, but having spent north of £200 million in the market already, it is far from an easy deal to make. Fabrizio Romano has now shared an exciting update, however, on United's chase for Baleba, with the club repeating the process they undertook to secure Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. Baleba, on paper, is United's ideal midfielder, with the only negative point right now being Brighton's asking price for the player, prompting United to look at potential Baleba alternatives. However, the hope remains to secure their top target, and to do that, United are doing what gave them success in the chase for Cunha and Mbeumo, and Sesko, to an extent. In all those cases, United agreed on personal terms with the player first and ensured there were no other bidders, with the player's desire clear. It allowed them to negotiate without the threat of a bidding war, and weakened the selling club's position since the player made his position clear. Romano, speaking on his YouTube channel, shared an exciting update that United spoke to Baleba's agents on Saturday again, August 9th, and are well on their way to repeating that process. He said, "I want to confirm that Man United are speaking again and again, even on August 9th, Saturday, with the agents of Carlos Baleba about the contract and salary. They want to advance on the player's side. At the moment, with Brighton, it's still not something advanced, but the contacts are still ongoing. The player is not closing the door to Man United. From what I feel, the club want to try. The contract is a topic that, for Man United, won't be a problem. For sure, it's an interesting situation." Romano does add to the generally exciting update that Brighton will make it difficult for United to make the deal possible, but this effort won't go to waste. If it doesn't happen this summer, then Baleba moving on next summer seems a matter of when, and not if, which is where United enter the picture. United have done a lot of groundwork on a deal for a player who will be chased by many European elites next summer, and that will allow them to steal a march. Baleba knows United are the club who are willing to go the extra mile for him, and even if a move doesn't happen this season, that will count for something next season. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC. Our second news is Fabrizio Romano. Brentford star plans to leave and join Newcastle United with £30 million offer planned as Chelsea ace asks for exit. Newcastle United could sign two players from London clubs before the September 1st transfer deadline. Two players from London clubs missed pre-season friendlies on Friday night amid interest from Newcastle United. The Magpies are on the market for a couple of new strikers, with Callum Wilson leaving the club following the end of his deal at the club. He has since joined West Ham United. Star striker Alexander Isak is also agitating for an exit amid interest from Premier League champions Liverpool, who have seen a £110 million bid rejected for the Sweden international. The North East club have tried and failed to sign several forwards this summer, only to lose out to other clubs. Chelsea pair Liam Delap and João Pedro were both eyed by the Magpies, along with the likes of Hugo Ekitike and Benjamin Sesko, who have joined Liverpool and Manchester United respectively this summer. The Magpies are now strongly linked with Brentford star Yoane Wissa and Chelsea striker Nicholas Jackson. Both players did not play as their clubs were involved in friendly games on Friday evening. Yoane Wissa Brentford future latest amid Newcastle United interest. Brentford drew 2-2 with Borussia Mönchengladbach on Friday night, but Wissa was not part of the action. Fabrizio Romano said on X, "Yoane Wissa, out of Brentford squad tonight as he's very clear, the plan is to leave and join Newcastle." He is now set to be the subject of a £30 million offer from Newcastle, according to The Times. Wissa left Brentford's pre-season training camp amid speculation over his future. He has since returned to train with the group, despite missing the friendly on Friday. The Bees value him at £50 million and have already rejected a £25 million offer from Newcastle for the striker. They are resistant to losing both Wissa and Bryan Mbeumo in the same window after the pair combined for 39 Premier League goals between them last season. Brentford played hardball with Manchester United over Mbeumo, rejecting 2 bids before agreeing a deal worth £71 million. Given how they have conducted themselves this summer, it would be a big surprise if £30 million was enough for Newcastle to land Wissa, Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea future latest amid Newcastle United interest. With Delap and Pedro both arriving at Stamford Bridge this summer, Jackson was likely to struggle for game time. He has since informed Chelsea of his plan to leave the club, according to a report from The Guardian. Initial reports claimed Chelsea valued Jackson in the region of £80 million, but it is claimed they will accept a £65 million offer to part ways. Newcastle are the favourites to sign him, while Bayern Munich have inquired about his signature, but nothing is advanced with the Bundesliga champions. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our third news is Eddie Howe admits Newcastle can't force Alexander Isak to stay. Alexander Isak can't be forced to stay at Newcastle, Eddie Howe has admitted, while suggesting he will miss their Premier League opener against Aston Villa. The situation is clear: Isak wants a move to Liverpool, Liverpool have the money, Newcastle need a replacement. At the moment, that third part is proving a problem as the Magpies struggle to find a player anywhere near the level of their want-away Swede. However, even if they don't sign a suitable striker, manager Howe has admitted it could be difficult to keep Isak. Asked if Newcastle can tell their number 14 he has to stay, the coach said, "It's not that straightforward, otherwise we would have done that a long time ago." Sunday sees the Toon take on Atletico Madrid in their final friendly before the first competitive match of the season, against Aston Villa on August 16. Isak is currently training away from the squad, and Howe has suggested that won't change any time soon. Speaking after their 2-2 draw with Espanyol on Friday, the manager said, "I'd want Alex to be playing today, I'd want him training tomorrow. We would love the player to be with us, let me make that absolutely clear. There's no part of me that doesn't want that outcome, but I don't see that changing before Aston Villa, the current situation we're in." Liverpool's first bid of about £110 million was rejected, but they are expected to return with an improved offer. With previous target Benjamin Sesko choosing to join Man United, Newcastle have turned their attention elsewhere. Yoane Wissa is close to a transfer, but he is widely seen as a replacement for the departed Callum Wilson, rather than Isak's alternative. The talk is now surrounding 21-year-old Porto striker Samu Agahoa, for whom the club are now considering a move, according to The Athletic. No formal approach has yet been made, though, and he has 4 years left on his contract, which includes a €100 million, £86.6 million, release clause. The Magpies have also been linked to Paris Saint-Germain forward Randall Kolo Muani, but Sky Sports' Keith Downey has rubbished the claims, saying Newcastle are not interested in the Frenchman. Fabrizio Romano delivers major updates on Carlos Baleba's move to Manchester United, Newcastle's £30 million plan for a Brentford star, and Chelsea's player exit request. Eddie Howe admits Alexander Isak's future is uncertain, while Liverpool emerge as favourites in a fresh transfer twist alongside a Ben Doak update. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our fourth news is Liverpool transfer news. Alexander Isak promise issued as Arne Slot hits back. Alexander Isak remains at the heart of plenty of speculation amid links with a move to Liverpool, and a final decision over his future appears to have been made with under a month remaining. Liverpool get their 2025-26 season finally underway on Sunday. The Reds travel to Wembley Stadium to take on Premier League rivals Crystal Palace in the Community Shield. And fans will be treated to a host of new faces appearing in a competitive sense for the first time in their Anfield careers. Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, Milos Kerkez, and Hugo Ekitike are all expected to be included in the squad. One man who won't be among the Liverpool squad is their latest target, Alexander Isak. The Swedish forward firmly remains a Newcastle player, but his future at St James' Park is still far from certain. Away from a new striker, the Reds also have another centre-back on their shopping list, but it remains to be seen whether they manage to get a deal over the line. With that being said, take a look at all of the latest transfer news and rumours from the red half of Merseyside. Newcastle will not allow Alexander Isak to leave the club this summer amid interest from Liverpool. According to the Telegraph, the Magpies have taken a hardline stance on their forward's desire to leave. They have told him in no uncertain terms that he will stay, albeit he will not play for the club again until he accepts that he will not be leaving in the immediate future. It is further reported that Isak did not take the news particularly well. The forward is currently training away from his teammates and did not appear over the weekend as Newcastle took on Espanyol and Atletico Madrid in pre-season friendlies. Arne Slot believes Liverpool's lucrative summer window was necessary given the amount of players that left the club. Liverpool have spent close to £300 million throughout the window. On their transfer dealings, Slot said, "What I feel is not being talked about enough, although you have to make your own decision when you talk about it, is that, I've lost 4 players that have started regularly. And one of them, his family, lost him. That's Diogo. Then Darwin might be on the verge of leaving. Luis Diaz was a definite starter, and Trent Alexander-Arnold was a definite starter. So normally in the Premier League, teams only buy and never sell. We do both. We lost players in a good phase of their career. I'm used to that, and it sometimes gives new energy as well." Reds given free run at Guéhi. Liverpool look to have a relatively easy run towards Crystal Palace star Mark Guéhi, should they want to make a move. The England defender has been identified as a potential signing, with a new centre-back needed. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Our last news is Liverpool favourites for transfer amid Alexander Isak twist and Ben Doak update. Liverpool are reportedly the favourites to secure the services of Mark Guéhi from Crystal Palace. The two clubs will meet at Wembley Stadium on Sunday afternoon, with Liverpool entering as Premier League champions and Crystal Palace having upset the odds by winning the FA Cup with a 1-0 victory over Manchester City at the same venue in May. The Echo previously reported Liverpool's interest in the defender, but the club's decision-makers are prepared to wait rather than pay a fee before the current summer transfer window closes. Palace boss Oliver Glasner confirmed Guéhi will captain the team at Wembley and also commented about his future. "You have to ask Mark," the German said at his press conference. "At the end it's always the player's decision. Mark decides about his future, and of course everybody wants Mark to sign a new contract, but it will be his decision. But whether that will be one of his final appearances for the Eagles remains to be seen." The Telegraph understands that Arne Slot's side are the favourites to land the centre-back, either this summer or next. Guéhi, a product of Chelsea's academy, has been linked with a return on multiple occasions. However, it is now reported that Enzo Maresca is focused on other targets and won't pursue Guéhi, clearing the way for the Reds. Elsewhere, Reds transfer target Alexander Isak is refusing to accept Newcastle United's stance over not letting him leave this summer. The Telegraph report that the Magpies have issued a determined stance on a potential sale this summer, but that has not gone down well with the player. The decision is said to have caused acrimony and tension, with the striker being told to train away from the main group until he accepts the decision. Following Newcastle's 2-0 friendly defeat to Atletico Madrid at St James' Park, Howe was asked about that report. He said, "It's not something I'm aware of. No knowledge of that." Meanwhile, The Athletic reports that Leeds United officials are debating whether to pursue a move for Ben Doak. The 19-year-old winger spent last season on loan at Middlesbrough and attracted bids of around £20 million last January, which were rejected. While Leeds may be interested, the Reds are unlikely to be pressured into a sale unless their valuation is met. Doak's contract runs until next summer. Stay tuned for more updates on LFC Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more LFC Transfer HQ news. Thanks for watching. That's all for today's transfer update. But the transfer window never sleeps, and neither do we. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the latest Liverpool FC transfer news, rumors, and confirmed deals. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update, because at LFC Transfer HQ, you'll never walk alone.